What is immigration? Immigration occurs when someone moves to a new country to stay permanently. Factors can be economy, family, conflicts, or social impacts. The U.S. immigration laws are based off of the reunion of family. Why is there an issue? For decades, the debate of immigration has been an issue for the U.S. Many believe that the housing, employment, education, and social functionality could become overcrowded and full of competition. What are some of the lasting effects of immigration? Well, some of the lasting effects of immigration are the creation of ICE and its agents, asylum seekers seeking a home. Immigration has been a thing for years before all of this, and immigration has created a diverse population in the USA, which in return to boost our economy, however, it leads to political argument and deportation policies. In our images here, we have deportation / the ICE. This image represents how an ICE agent is intimidating an immigrant. The second photo is the detainment of illegals. This image represents the detainment of illegals and shows the ICE-specific task force arresting illegals. The third photo is asylum seekers. This image represents asylum seekers at the border. This is linked to the stay in Mexico policies, where they had to face rough conditions and poor treatment. The fourth photo shows economic impact of illegals. This image shows a photo of data of how Latinos stimulate the revenue of taxes. This is due to immigrants expanding the labor force and increasing consumer spending. And the fifth photo shows two undocumented men working in the strawberry fields. This is important because most food is harvested by illegal, undocumented immigrants. My subtopic, deportation / ICE, started around 2002. It originated after the 9/11 attacks, and the purpose was to enforce immigration laws and investigate the borders. The second subtopic is the detainment of illegals. Immigration detentions are used by ICE to hold undocumented illegal immigrants. While immigrants are detained, their cases move through an immigration court. Some immigrants are detained shortly, while others remain held for months or years. This takes us to our third subtopic, asylum seekers. Asylum seekers are those who flee their home country in search of protection and security in another country. Only few are allowed to work legally and can eventually apply for residency. These asylum seekers are forced to stay in the southern border, facing harsh risks and conditions. Now for our last subtopic, economic impact and how do illegals impact the U.S. Undocumented immigrants have a significant impact on the United States economy. They expand the workforce, increase consumer spending, and create business opportunities. Immigrants support innovation by keeping businesses running, and their labor helps stimulate local economies.
Moving on to the timeline, in 1882, the Chinese Exclusion Act came. The United States passed its first big federal immigration law, which restricted Chinese laborers from immigrating and blocked Chinese immigrants from becoming a United States citizen. Then in 1924, the Immigration Act, also known as Johnson-Reed Act, established national origin codes, created the U.S. border. This also created a new status for immigrants that were also known as undocumented. Again, in 1952, Immigration and Nationality Act was established. This act consolidated all immigration laws into one, and that system is still used today. It set rules for those who can enter, who cannot, and who can become citizens. Also defined key terms such as alien, 1986 Immigration Reform and Control Act occurred. This act introduced civil and criminal penalties to employers who hired undocumented employees, increasing border patrol and legalization to undocumented migrants. In 1986, again, the Legal Immigration Reform and Immigration Responsibility Act occurred. This act massively expanded deportation laws and enforcement powers. This also led to the expansion of deportation grounds, also allowed for immigration officials to deport certain individuals. Later, in 2025, the Vasquez-Perdomo versus Noem. Why does this matter today? The Supreme Court case allowed force agents nowadays to allow ICE agents to profile Americans that speak, look, and work similar jobs to immigrants. ICE agents still work under these laws from 1962 and 1998. Now, 5 ways to support: peaceful protesting, donating to organizations, direct community support, promoting strong messages, and staying educated on the topic. Peaceful protest. Peaceful protesting is a way of supporting immigrants by creating public pressure, raising awareness, increasing costs for elites, and pushing social and political reform through collective action. People of this country want their voices to be heard, so they protest and boycott. It is a way to challenge the injustice of laws without having to go through the process of being ignored by higher authorities. Donating to organizations. Organizations rely on donations and support from communities or individuals. Many organizations consist of donating money, clothes, food, shoes, and any other helpful necessities. One example of an organization is the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights, also known as CHIRLA. Founded in 1986, the nonprofit organization has worked on empowering and supporting all immigrants. Promoting strong messages. Promoting strong messages impacts how strong communication really is. These messages highlight the values and importances of immigrants, justice, and the morality many carry. Direct community support. Some examples of direct community support can be providing essential services like food, health, housing, as well as passing on language skills or job skills as well, and supporting your neighbors around you. How can we stay educated on this topic? Media is a great source of information nowadays and is often used more than books and newspapers. Blogs, newspapers, documentaries, and voices directly from immigrants and videos showing us what is going on in the real world can be showed all over the media. Associations and organizations across states are also a great way to help stay on top of what has and is going on around us. Understanding what, why, where, who, and when helps us come to a realization of everything. We strongly detail that it is important to find reliable sources that provide strong information. Here are some photos that can help provide information about what's going on. In conclusion, we highlighted the importance and complexity of immigration, featuring how powerful the influence of immigration is. This presentation shows how immigration shapes the nation's past, present, and future. We have showed how we can continue to support, empower, protect, and advocate for and with immigrants, and that we can continue to speak up for those who cannot speak up for themselves. For the civic action, my partner and I will actively volunteer and donate to causes for immigrants. We have decided to choose the organization CHIRLA for a better tomorrow. Thank you.